Okay, so this is a presentation document that was created by the artifacts feature on Claude. Honestly, it looks decent, although if you want to get something that is even prettier, something that will impress your audience, then I highly recommend to start creating a slide deck using Claude Design. So with this new feature, basically, it's almost guaranteed that the visual is going to be stunning. I mean, you don't have to worry about if you know some design terminologies or not, because you just need to provide your resources and perhaps the thing that you want to appear on the document, and AI will handle the rest. There is going to be a system in place that will automatically improve the quality and visual of your design. So this is very different than the regular artifacts in Claude. I mean, if you look just at the visual, it's safe to say that the presentation from Claude Design is infinitely better. So in this video, I'll show you how you can generate a PowerPoint or Google Slides document using Claude Design. And then later, I'll show you a tiny feature that honestly really cool on Claude Design that lets you customize the visual of your design with a nice and simple user interface like this one. So without further ado, let me show you how you can do it. First, let's navigate to Claude.ai, and by the way, make sure that you subscribe to the paid version of Claude, because as far as I know, Claude Design, at least right now, is only available if you are a paying customer. Now, let's navigate to Design, and then you want to click on the tab menu called Slide Deck. So let's say for this demo, I'm going to use, let's say, this document that I just research using Perplexity. This is called Meta's plan to win back the AI race. So I'm going to use this, and I'll actually have downloaded the PDF version of this document, which is going to be the resource for Claude Design. Now I'm going to use that name for the project's title, and you can enable speaker notes if you want to create a more concise slide deck where you are going to just make some points in the slide, but the rest will be spoken when you are presenting the material, but that is optional. And also you can set up a design system. So if you select or click this button, there's going to be the option if you want to upload your brand assets or have some brand guidelines. Basically, if you want to create a more consistent and branded visual, then this is a feature that you can use. But in this video, I'll just use the bare minimum. So I'll just provide the name and also just the resources. So I'm going to click create, and now here the UI is, I would say, very simple. This is very much typical to your AI tools like ChatGPT or Gemini or even Claude artifacts. Okay, I'm going to click this attachment icon, and I'll select that PDF document from Perplexity, and there you go. So after that, you can tell AI perhaps about everything that you want to see on your document. You can mention something like maybe the language, the tonality, the target audience, the style, the layout, the design. Everything can be provided right here in your input. Or maybe you can just provide the bare minimum. And actually, on my previous example, I was using a very simple and short prompt. I just told AI that I want to have the Art Deco style, and that's about it. So again, that is a system in Claude Design that will automatically improve the visual of your presentation document. And that is something that's honestly really cool. So even if you don't know about some design knowledge or terminologies, AI will cover basically everything. It's really cool. Now, in this case, I think I'm going to recreate the design of post-modernism. So I like to use some architecture styles because, you know, there are many examples that you can see in real life. And yeah, I was using Art Deco, but this time around I'll use post-modernism. So in this case, I'll just tell AI that I want to use, let's say, post-modernism style. Yep, that's about it. It's very simple. It's a bare minimum. Now you can click send and just wait for Claude to start designing the presentation. And then later I'll show you how you can create a customizable tweak and how you can download this document as a format that you can open on Google Slides or PowerPoint. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, so finally, this is the presentation that was created by Claude Design. And yeah, it's actually quite refreshing. It's not every day we can get a presentation that look like this. So initially I was confused because the readability and also there are some text that seems to be overlapping with one another. But then when I check what post-modernism look like, I think it's actually nailed the design pretty well. So indeed it is actually a very close to the heart of the post-modernism design. So I would say it's quite decent. Now let's talk about a feature that I really like in Claude Design, which is tweaks. So if you click this, you can ask AI to generate a sort of setting that you can select, or a preset that can be generated by AI. Now this is going to be unique from one project to another. It depends on your design, depends on what you're trying to achieve. Now let's say I'm not quite happy with the accent color and the choice of the fonts. So perhaps I want to be able to change the accent color and the fonts. All right, that's going to be my request. Click add and just wait for AI to generate a preset or setting that later you can pick, and that setting will be will be applied to your design. Honestly, it's really cool, but this will take a while, so I'll just skip a while and I'll show you the result. Okay, so I have created the tweaks, and again, this is going to be very unique. It's not going to be the same every time you're creating a project on Claude Design. But in this case, I was able to change the accent colors of the design, and I can also select a completely different font, which I think is a lot easier if you want to customize your presentation this way. Now, if you want to download this as a PowerPoint format, then you can navigate to the share button and then select export as PPTX, and then you can select the format. There are 4 options, but I think for most people you might want to select either editable universal fonts, Google Slides fonts, and screenshot-based PPTX. Now, unfortunately, even though it's seemingly kinda indicating that you will get the same fonts when you are getting the PPTX format, but unfortunately it wasn't the case. So this is one example where when I selected the editable Google Slides, and as you can see, the font is not exactly the same as the one that we have seen on Claude Design. So even though it is fully editable, I mean, I can select the text, I can move some elements around, unfortunately it is not exactly the same. So perhaps you might want to check if your computer have the same fonts as the one that were used on Claude Design. So if you want to get a presentation that looks exactly the same as the one that was created by Claude Design, then perhaps you want to select screenshot-based PPTX, which means it is basically a picture very similar to Google's Notebook LM and even the ChatGPT image generation. So it is not exactly editable, but at least it's going to look pretty. At least that's the promise, because I actually have tried to download the screenshot-based document as a PPTX format, but unfortunately I'm getting a document that doesn't look the same. So remember, this is a picture. This is supposed to be exactly the same as in the Claude Design, but I can tell that it is not the same font. So let me just show you the first slide again. So the first slide looked like this. This win-back text has a bold profile, but unfortunately on the screenshot-based PPTX document, it is not the same. So that's probably just a glitch, and I'm hoping that Anthropic will fix this problem very soon, because it's really annoying. But other than that, it's an amazing tool. It is something that perhaps you can use to replace some of your PowerPoint design tools like you know, Google Slides or PowerPoint. But just be mindful with your credits, because Claude is not exactly known for being generous, even if you're a paying customer. So always be mindful with the amount of credits or tokens that you use when you're creating the document. But other than that, this is a solid tool, and I highly recommend to start playing around with Claude Design and see what kind of design or style that you can get from this tool. And by the way, if you want to see other things that you can do with other AI tools, then you can click the video that appears on your screen right now, and I'll see you on that video.